So welcome to everyone for a new day. This is 21-day interview challenge in React. So today we are going to undergo 3 rounds. First 3 rounds will be technical and fourth round will be the guess the output. In case if you can't guess the output, I will give the options over there. So first round. So I'm starting with Karan. Karan. Okay. So Karan, what is React?
Okay, so basically React is a library of JS. So basically, it is a library from where we can just take the code and we can make our like we can use HTML in the JS with the help of React only, and it makes our code more simple and more faster. Like there are components in React through which like we can distribute our whole website in those components, and we can just write HTML inside JavaScript only. So that is what the work of React, and it makes our code more simpler and our website more faster.
So you are right. So Java in React, JavaScript we are using in a simpler way using this library. So this is what we know about the React. So next question to
Yeah.
Supriya. Supriya, what is UseEffect?
So UseEffect is a hook which is used to render your elements of React into your browser. Until unless you use UseEffect, then definitely your components, whatever you have used in your particular page, JSX page, those elements are not going to be rendered on the page. By default, in UseEffect, there are two functions. Firstly, inside the round bracket, it takes a callback function, and inside that callback function you just write the name of the function on which you have cached your API or anything you have written. You just write it down, and then with separating it with a comma inside it, you just give a default value which is the empty array. Yeah, so this is the use effect which helps you to render the elements. Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me what are the phases under this? Three
What
phases
what
we have. Phases. Three
phases?
stages in. Yeah, 3 stages
Okay.
over there.
Yeah, yeah. So, firstly, I'll tell. Can I tell you how to, matlab, how to fetch an API and then how do we just render it? Are you asking me
No,
that?
just tell me the name of the phases. That's enough.
Okay.
Three
So,
stages.
yeah, yeah. So, firstly, we just write use effect, the syntax, and then we just write inside it callback function, and then we just write the initial values of it while calling the function and then initial value. This is how we use it. You're mute.
Okay, I'm asking like a mounted, like that people tell us 3 stages. I'm asking that name.
Sorry, I won't be able to explain.
I don't want to explain, just tell me the name.
Even the names, I mean, mount
Okay.
phase, unmount phase.
In between one,
In between, there is a working which I
update. Okay.
update. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, these are the 3 spaces over
Okay.
there.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, good.
right, right.
Yeah, you explained well. Okay, next question to Mahin. Mahin, what is dependency array in use effect? And one more question along with this, if you omit the dependency array, what is the behavior of it?
Okay, so basically dependency array is a default we are using in UseEffect. If we don't give the dependency array to UseEffect, so it will going to it's like a render the our DOM in infinite loop, and it will the create our website or our React application. And dependency is a something like a how many times we need to render our website on a particular state or on a particular variable or state of the variable. So, if in simple way, the dependency array is the way to handle our DOM on according to variable state of the variable. And if we don't write the dependency array, we just leave, so it will render infinitely and it will test our application.
Yeah, good. So in simple, dependency array will help us to render our function into a UI. It's a first time. And if we omit it, we have to render it, we have to run it every time. This is the main difference if we omit it. Okay, next question to Amit. Amit, can you explain about the cleanup process in
Yes.
UseEffect?
Yeah. So while use effect, we are working. I mean, use effect are mainly used to control the three phases, as Supriya said, the mount phase, the unmount phase, and the updation phase. So cleanup is done on the unmount phase. Whenever we mount a component, and we have all the working has been done, and then when it's time to unmount the component, like whenever we are switching to another section of a page or switching to another link, then that component has of no use. Now we need to remove the component, and along with that, whatever processes has been started with that component, along with that component, we need to stop those processes. So that is called cleanup. And inside the use effect, it is done whenever we call a use effect, we on the first few lines we write all the functions, all the tasks that we need to done while updation and mounting phase. But at the end, we actually return a function, and inside that function, an anonymous function, we actually limit or terminate all the functions that has been started while the mounting phase, like the timer, or if we have any set timeout running parallelly. So we basically terminate those timers or those fetch APIs onto that returning on that anonymous function. So whenever a component unmounts from the DOM, that anonymous function got called automatically, and we basically terminate all those timers. So this is called cleaning, and this is the steps.
Okay, well explained. So successfully we complete our first round. Now moving into the second round. So first participant, Karan. Karan, can you explain what is components in React?
Okay. So in React, with the help of React, we can distribute the whole website with the help of components. Like navbar is another component. Inside navbar, there are 3 divs, so they are different components. So all the similar components, or all the similar functions, or the looking like content, we will make a same component for it, so that we can use that only component for the different uses. Okay, for the different parts. It is like same like constructor function. When we are making object with the same properties, and if we want to give those same properties with the different values to another objects, so it is same like constructor object. So we make components so that we can minimize the code of our project, our website. So that's all. That is component. So basically, components are the functions only.
Okay, how can you mention the component name?
What? So for making the component, the main thing is the starting letter should be start with the capital letter for any function.
So then only it will be considered as a component in React.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is a normal element.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So next question to Supriya. Supriya, what is use context?
Okay. Use context. Sorry, I don't have the proper answer to this question.
You can try.
No, actually I can try, but I only know how to do it practically. I cannot explain theoretically.
Okay, whatever you know, you can try that. Even in code, something you can try and explain. No?
I am not able to explain
For what
properly.
purpose we are using?
Use context is something which can be used in forms, basically, like whenever we put passwords or something like that, then it is used. I only know this much.
So use component is also like a React hook. It also passes information like how we use props, like from parent component to child component, how we passing the data. So like that only use context also is using over here. That is the main work over here in use context. Okay. Okay. Can I ask one more question in use effect? Okay.
Okay. Use
So,
effect.
yeah.
You just asked me the first question. Yes, use
Yeah,
effect.
I will ask from that. Okay. Can you explain use effect like in the syntax way, the methods or syntax way?
Use effect.
Yeah, use effect.
That is the repeated question.
No, I'm asking syntax. Yeah,
Syntax.
just explain the
Okay. So firstly, you just write the use effect, and then inside it, you use 2 round brackets. Inside that round brackets, we use a callback function, which takes 2 parameters. And the very first parameter is the name of the function, whichever you want that use effect to carry with it. And then separating it with a comma, inside it, you just write an empty array by default, so that whatever the objects or data you are fetching, that will be rendered inside that default array. This is the
Yeah,
syntax
so
of
UseEffect contains of a callback function and the dependency array. This is the
Yeah.
main task over there. Okay, next question to Mahin. Okay, Mahin, how can you create a context in React?
Yeah, so first of all, for creating React, we have creating context. So we have a create context from the we need to import it from the React itself. So like a import curly braces create context from React, and after that we need to assign some value like some variable like a export const and auth context. If I want to use it as a authentication, so just give me auth context and equal to create context and parentheses. So via this the process we can create the auth context, and after we can provide it like wherever we want. First we need to like do like a create context, and after that whatever give us like a auth context. So we need to grab our component with auth context dot product, and after that we can use everywhere where we need to use this context API.
So well explained. So next question to Amit. Amit, can you tell me what is appropriate use context over prompt release?
Use context. Okay, yeah. So whenever we are working with layered or very deeply nested objects, sorry, components, then whenever our deeply nested component needs any prop, then we had to like pass it from multiple layers of components. So sometimes it makes our work very hard, and it makes our code very bulky. So just to overcome that situation, just to prevent that prop drilling process, what we did, we use context. So in use context, we basically define or declare all our data like state data or component data in one place. Whatever data our app needs, whenever we want, in one place, and we can grab it or use it in whatever component we need. Now here we don't need to pass it through the component trees like a props whenever we are doing the props. So in that case, we are basically saving our time and saving an effort to in not passing the props. We can actually go to the component where the data is needed, and we can use the use context hook and pass the context, and we can grab the data from it directly. Yeah
Good. So we done with our second round. Now moving towards our third round. Okay, Karan, this is your question. So this question I'm asking from advanced JavaScript. So can you explain what is asynchronous function?
Okay. So basically a JavaScript is a synchronous type language. Okay. But we can make it asynchronous with the help of some ES6 like updates which come in JavaScript. So there are multiple methods we can make which can make our JavaScript asynchronous, and it helps, like asynchronous functions helps us our websites to load faster, to give the better experience to a user. Okay, so there are different methods through which we can make a JavaScript asynchronous. First of all, these promises. The main promise that we use to make our asynchronous, like our website asynchronous, is fetch only. With the help of fetch, it is type of a asynchronous function. Then there are set timeout, there are set intervals, and there are closures also. So these all are asynchronous function which helps our website to be asynchronous, So that's all.
Yeah, good. That's fine for this question. And the next question to Supriya. Supriya, can you explain what is props and prop drilling regarding this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So props are just the child components which inherit the properties of their parent. In order to style, we use props, and props can be, you can use props like you can simply write an HTML tag. Inside it, you can write curly braces, and then prop, and then title and style, or whatever you want to write, you can do that. So these are the props, basically the properties of the parent which you want to target. Yeah.
How can you pass the data?
We can pass the data using map function. It's when we write map function, we use a default value like inside map we write ELE, and when we want to catch it with the props, we just write ELE dot, ELE dot, and whatever the data is fetched, Then we write the title and something like this. Inside the curly brackets, we write it. That's how we just
So
catch
I
it.
also asked about prop drilling.
Prop drilling, I don't have idea.
Okay, so basically props means when we want to transfer data from a child parent component to child component, that is the basic form of props. So we are transferring data through as an argument, as a parameter in a parent and argument in the child. This is the way to doing. When it was nested with multiple components in such a way, it's called as a prop drilling. It is difficult to navigate from each component to get the data, and it makes more not a readable manner. So that is called as a prop drilling. In that case only we are using use context. Okay, next question to Mahin. Mahin, can you tell me the benefits of use effect and any disadvantages over that?
Yeah, use effect is benefit for when we want to like on a state of any variable, we need to render the one function or our actual any DOM, so any actual DOM. So so in this case we use the use effect, and as a dependency we pass that particular variable on which we want to render the all the component uh component. Okay, so in the dependency there we pass that variable, and after that and the drawback is that don't you so in using use effect, so we can it's a very conflict, it's like a very difficult to handle it. If we miss something if we miss just this array, if default array, so it will break our whole application. This is a very first drawback. And second thing is handle the use effect is a very tough. So we need to return the return, and we need to unmount the our DOM. So if we forget that, so our application is going to very going our application is crashed if we don't use the use effect is a good manner. So this is what a benefit and as well as a drawback.
Yeah, you are right. So the main advantages, it will avoid the side effects, and it also gives the cleanup process. So this is the main advantages. And dependency array is also considered as a disadvantages, because we have to handle with it very carefully. Why? Because we are handling with the asynchronous mode. If we are making too much dependency, it will become our code very hard. So this is our main disadvantages over there. Okay, Hamid, this is your last and final question. So, can you tell me advantages of use contest?
Advantages of use context. Okay, so first example is this only. We can avoid the prop drilling, as I already told that whenever we are not using the use context, we are using the use state or any other state management tool like use state. So there we need to pass the props or pass the value whenever it is needed at the very nested component. So we need to do prop drilling. We need to provide all the in between components that value, so that it reaches to our target component. But in use context we don't do that. We actually pass the value directly to the targeted component. In that targeted component we can actually use context hook and pass the context, and we can grab the values, whatever value we want. That's the first thing I can. And the second thing is that in use state, what we in second point is that when we use the use state or any other state management tool, then we need to define it everywhere. Like if component A needs data and component B need the same data, then we need to define it there as well, and in component B as well. Like if you have two data, let's say user data or guest data, then you need to write it you need to define it everywhere where you are needing. But in use context, what you need, all your values or all your app data is stored in one place. So it is stored in one place and you can grab it right from there. So storing the values in one place is a very beneficial when we are working with use context. So these are two major benefits as for my knowledge.
Yeah, you are right. These are the two main important benefits from the use context. So we are completed with our technical rounds, theoretical rounds of use context and use effect. Then now we will go towards the fourth round, guess the output. So for our final round, guess the output, I am sharing my screen. First question for Karan. So Karan, this is for you.
Okay, so JSX const. Okay, so it is easy. Okay, so
Yeah.
the answer will be hello John, because we are creating a JSX format. Inside that, we are creating a p tag, and we are using JavaScript with curly braces. So we can basically use JavaScript, any JavaScript code in curly braces inside JSX format, and then we are console logging that element only. So that's
So
easy.
can you explain your code step by step? What and all?
Okay, so
Only
first of all,
hello,
first of all,
John will be there. What will be
hello
there?
John, hello John, hello John.
Only hello, John.
Yeah, hello John with the exclamation mark, and comma also, comma after hello also. So that's what.
Okay. So it's partially correct.
With
Why?
P tag also, with P tag also.
Okay. If he said
Like
partially correct,
with
you are
because we are
including your
consolidating. We are not
answer.
including. No, no,
Okay.
I'm not including.
Then it's the right answer.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So only I asked. So while telling itself, tell me the full correct answer.
yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So next question to Supriya. Supriya, this is your question. One second, I will show you. Try to answer without option. If you don't know, I will show you the options.
Okay. So my answer to this question is this, that first updated will be printed and then mounted will be printed, because we are using use effect. So in use effect, in the next to next line, there is again a use effect in on which console.log updated is there. So firstly updated will be printed and then mounted and then carry on unmounted and all.
Do
Yeah.
you want to see any options here?
No.
No. Okay, it's not correct, Supriya, because in written I asked only effect example. So under effect example function, there is only mounted and unmounted. Use effect updated will not come over here. So the console.log, the returns will be mounted and unmounted.
Unmounted.
Okay. So the next question to Mahin.
Yes.
1 second, stop the record. So next question to Mahin. Mahin, this is your question.
Okay.
I want my what is written.
Okay, so in this question, we are using the use context. So first of all, we are creating like const theme context equal to react.create context. So we are creating first that context, and after in nested context example, we are use that like a theme context. So const theme equal to use context theme context, and in theme context we have a light. And after we are also const user equal to we are using another context is the user context, and we are using that user. So in the example we have first div, and after it div we have p tag, and we in p tag theme, and as a theme inside the theme we are the theme is like a light, and the user is guest. So answer like theme light user guest. This is my answer.
Your answer is correct. So you explained well also. So the team will be the team. What I given here, it's a light, and the user will be the already while creating. We have created user as a guest. So the answer will be team is light and user is guest. Correct. Okay. Next question. Moving to Amit. Just stop the record. So Amit, this is your question.
I'm ready. Yeah. So here it is an example of how use effect works in updation phase. So we have a state called count and set count, and we have started a use context, and since we have been given an dependency array, so this use effect will work only at the updation phase. So whenever count is updated, so and also whenever, since we have been given array, so this use effect will run after the render. So at first it will not run, and we have our JSX like count is equals to 0, since we have been started it with 0, and then we have one button, and that button sets the count to count plus 1. So whenever initially the count will be 0, the div will be one paragraph with count 0 and one button, and whenever a user clicks on the button, the counts will increment, like it was 0 and then it will increment to 1. And since we have changed the state of count, then this use effect will set into effect, and we will have effect ran in console. So initially count 0 and there will be no console log, and when a user click on that button, then only we have that console log effect run.
So answer is?
Okay, so answer will be initially it will not run the effect run console log. Whenever button clicks, then the effect will run, and we will have the console log effect run. So finally, we will have the effect run whenever a user clicks on the button.
Okay. So the options I'm just showing, you just look into options.
Yeah.
You will get a better idea.
Okay, so in this case, the option D will be there because eventually we are pressing the button, and eventually the set count increments the count value to 1. So at the end, whenever all these things happen, count will be 1. So we will see count is equals to 1 and count 1. And since we have pressed one button, and this use effect will run since it has dependency on count, so we will have the console log as well. So at the end, option D will be there, count 1 and effect run.
So initially the count will be 0. There is no effect run will go. By first click itself, I will give count 1 and also effect run. Both the things will run. So this is what.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what we completed our today's session. So follow our Vishal Tiwari blog and for more updates and more interviews. Thank you. Bye bye.